I don't remember if I did an intro this morning, so we're doing one now. Hello, and welcome to my channel. I'm Mandy Grace, author of a retelling of the Legend of Robin Hood, Return to Sherwood. Today I am working on revisions for the sequel to Return to Sherwood. Good morning, and welcome to my channel. I'm Mandy Grace. Today is going to be a writing vlog as I try to get through some more revisions for Return to Sherwood, the sequel. Which, at this point, I can stop saying number 2 or the sequel, because it has a title, Return to Grace. I'm doing revisions for Return to Grace. I'm about to get on Kate's live stream, whenever that starts, in the next 7 or 8 minutes, and hopefully I'll be able to get a lot done. I've not actually participated in one of Kate's live streams before, I don't think. We'll see what happens. Also, at the end of today, there is a live stream with Mandy and Natalia and Brooke, but I have Bible study roughly around the same time, so I might not be able to be on that one. Also, instead of tea, I'm drinking apple juice right now because that's how I wake up in the morning. I'm not really a coffee person, but juice does it for me. We have finished 3 writing sprints at this point, and are moving into the 4th one. And I've added roughly 5,000 words to the story. A couple thousand of that was new material, and then some of it was just moving scenes from draft 1 into draft 2 and sprucing them up a little bit, which I guess also added new words on top of the new scenes that I wrote. I've reached the end of chapter 4, and we're building up to the first, like, battle in this. It's not really a war, but it's sort of a war. Anyway, we're building up to the first battle with the mercenary who's trying to kill all of the outlaws. And I realized in the first draft, at the end of this chapter, as we build up to this big moment, at the end of this chapter, I have a scene from the perspective of someone who doesn't really matter. And I'm going to cut this scene, but I'm pausing because that means I have to write a brand new scene. That's not something I can just edit and spruce up. I just have to have new material. But this scene, I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote the first draft of this story, because we're building up the tension, and every single perspective in this specific chapter is building up and building up and building up to this fight that's about to happen. So we have Guy, who's like a warrior, and he's training his serfs to be warriors, and he's getting ready for this fight. And then we have Gilbert, who's, you know, on his revenge quest, and he's super excited for this fight. And then we have Sir Hugh, who is on the opposite side of the fight, who was like, yes, I'm gonna kill some outlaws. And then at the very end of the chapter, which is supposed to be like the cliffhanger, and then the next chapter will be the fight, you know? The cliffhanger is a perspective from Faith, who is not fighting, not interested in fighting, she's just there. She just happens to be present, and it just kills the momentum. So we're getting rid of this Faith scene. Maybe it'll be added later, I don't know, because her husband is hiding her in the manor somewhere so that she's safe during the fighting, which is very sweet. It's a nice scene, but it killed the momentum, so it's not gonna be right here in this specific chapter if I keep it. It has to go. But anyway, it's been 2 hours and I'm super hungry, so I'm gonna pause before I cut the Faith scene and write a brand new one. I'm gonna pause and find something to eat, because I did not have breakfast. I just had a cup of apple juice. Also, I used a new candle today, which I was a little bit worried about, because it's another one with essential oils in it, and the only one I've used before that was infused with essential oils gave me the worst headache every time I used it, so I got rid of it. So yeah, I was hesitant when lighting this one, and I can definitely tell, like, there's some sort of, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's not a headache, it's not painful, but I can tell, like, there's a buzzing in my forehead. So I don't know what it is about essential oils in candles, but my head feels it in some way. So it hasn't been bad, and you know, it's a pleasant-ish smell, and it hasn't given me a headache, so it hasn't been terrible, and I used it for a full 2 hours. But I'm definitely going to blow it out and light a different one when I come back after eating, because there's just a weird sensation in my forehead due to this candle, and I'm blaming the oils, because the last one with essential oils gave me a headache, so I think there's a correlation here. Quick detour before I go eat. I was getting out and checked my phone and realized I had an email from Mandy, and we are beginning the talk for cover design, which I'm so excited about. I'm getting giddy already about the idea of creating a cover, because the Return to Sherwood cover made me so happy. Even now, months later, I get a glimpse of it, and it makes me so happy. So yes, I'm very excited about what she will be able to put together for book 2, and even though I'm sort of kind of in the middle of writing it, yeah, I'm very excited about getting the cover created, because once I have the cover, that's just one thing done, you know, and then I can focus on getting the writing aspect done in the next 2 or 3 months, and then all I will have after that is just the editing, which takes time, but I won't have to be thinking, oh, and I still have to get a cover created. Anyway, I'm just very excited, and it's somewhat related to the, you know, vlog already, because I'm working on Return to Sherwood number 2. No, I said I was going to stop saying that. I'm working on Return to Grace. So, yeah, when I got the email, I was like, oh, this is so exciting, but also it's related to my vlog, so here we are. After leaving my room and then coming back in, the candle smell was a little overwhelming as I entered the room. So, I don't know if I should light another one. It's a bit much, but also maybe I should, like, get rid of that overwhelming smell. Oh, that's loud. You probably can't hear that, but I can hear Kate coming out of my headphones. I guess the sprint ended. I skipped a sprint to go get my food, which you already know because I told you I was doing that. We are on the very last sprint. I changed the Faith scene to an Ida scene, just to keep the momentum going, gearing up for this big fight. Yeah, but now we're on the very last sprint. We've got 20 minutes to do some more stuff. I've actually moved on from the big fight. I'll get back to it, but there's a break just to build suspense where we go and spend time with some of the other characters who are in a different place. Just because I like to drive my readers nuts. And figuring out all of that stuff is a bit difficult because when I wrote the first draft, I didn't really have a detailed plan of what was happening to those characters. So when I came to scenes for them, I would just pick a random one to do a POV for, and then write a random scene. So they don't really follow any sort of story arc at all. And now that I re-outlined with Save the Cat, and I have this lovely thing, every time I come to those scenes, I have to like look at my new outline and does this scene serve a purpose at all? In general, they don't, so I'm trying to work around writing new scenes and also taking the scenes that I have and making them fit with the outline that I have. So it's a bit tedious to work with the other characters, whereas with the Ida storyline, for the most part, her arc is well written in the first draft, but hers is the only arc that's all there. Until the very end, which I've discussed in previous videos. At the very end of her arc, it sort of peters out. There's not a good climax. But we're not there yet. We're at the beginning, and it's all there, and it's wonderful. And then I tried to write the story from other people's perspectives in other places, and I'm like, none of this means anything. It's all pointless. So that's what I'm struggling with on this very last writing sprint. I'm also debating if I'm going to keep writing when the sprint is done, or if I will take a break, or if I will just be done for the day. I don't know. There is a live stream this evening, but like I said, there's a Bible study this evening as well, so I'm not sure that I'll be able to manage both of those. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I do know that once the sprint is done, I'm going to actually get dressed for the day. That's what I know. The stream has officially ended. I went through about 8,000 words in my new draft. Some of that was writing completely new scenes, some of it was just editing and fixing up old scenes, but altogether it was about 8,000 words in my draft. I don't think I explained this time, but I've explained previous times while editing this particular book. I have my first draft open, and then I have a essentially blank document. It's not blank anymore, but a new document opened, and I'm moving scenes from one document to the other as I edit them, or just leaving them in the first document if I'm cutting them and not using them in the new draft. So yes, I went from about 13,000 words in the new draft to 20,000, almost 21,000 in the new draft. So almost 8,000 words. I was able to fix up a couple more scenes from other people's perspectives, specifically the group that is in Paris right now, because those are the ones that were just all over the place and random, and with a few exceptions, they really had nothing to do with moving the plot forward, nothing to do with moving forward character arcs. They were just random. Because when I was writing the first draft, I would get so caught up in the other story, which fully interested me, with Gilbert's revenge quest and then Ida's whole story arc, that's what I would focus on. And then in the middle of writing those scenes, I'd suddenly remember that I had like 10 other characters that I had not checked in on in a while. So then I would go and like check in with them, but those scenes were mostly pointless. So I'm sort of having to redo all of the other people. But I did manage to get through a couple of those scenes and make them work. Not just scrapping them, but using the scenes that I had and fixing them and making them fit with the story arc, if that makes sense. It took some shuffling around and definitely adding a lot of stuff, but we got there. I have definitely taken a break from writing, though my writing stuff is still sort of everywhere. But right now I'm actually talking with a friend of my cousin's about book trailers for the sequel, and then also doing new ones for Return to Sherwood, and this whole thing has just got me insanely excited. I was talking covers with Mandy this morning, and now I'm talking book trailers, and it just, the anticipation and excitement is building, which is awesome. But it also feels very soon, because I haven't actually finished with the revisions writing of the novel, so I feel like I'm I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, and I'm too excited already because we're not there yet, but we're just going for it. One thing I've definitely noticed with the adding of scenes while I've been editing is that some of my chapters have gotten excessively long. You can't necessarily tell from just looking at their point of views, but yeah, some of the chapters have made it to like 15-20 pages on Google Docs, which means when I transfer it over to a Word document and format it down to a 6x9 9x6, whichever way that is, book, they'll be like 25-30 pages long, which is excessively long for me. I don't usually do super long chapters, so I'm gonna have to rearrange where my chapter breaks are, I think. But I'm gonna wait to do that until after I finish with the revising, because I'm only on chapter 5 of 21. We have 21 chapters to get through, people. I've noticed I'm a little biased toward my own name on this project. So I'm working with a cover designer named Mandy, and then today I was talking with a lady to help with book trailers and promotional videos whose name is Amanda. It's like, if you don't share my name, what are you even doing on this project? It's a little bit random, but it was amusing me. My Bible study ended up being canceled, so I actually am going to do the live stream with Mandy, Natalia, and Brooke. I'm a little bit late because I had to eat dinner. They're doing a warm-up, and you know, I've only missed 4 minutes of it, so this is great. I can do this. All my stuff is still laid out from earlier. We are on our 3rd sprint, sort of the 2nd, because the first one was a warm-up, but anyway, we're on the 3rd sprint, and I've done about 3,000 words. A little bit new scene stuff, but mostly just moving scenes over and editing them and adding to them a bit. I also went back and added some stuff to scenes that I worked on this morning, because in the scenes in Paris that are pointless and really don't move the plot at all, I was finding little pieces of things that I knew I could add to scenes that I'd already done this morning, so I just sort of reevaluated where to put stuff. The smell from the other candle has finally dissipated. It sort of took all day. So I'm gonna try a new candle again. My Stolen Kingdom candle, which I haven't lit yet. In my video where I unboxed it, I discussed how it doesn't necessarily smell great. It just kind of smells like a grandma. So I don't necessarily have high hopes, but I'm fond of this candle because it's the Stolen Kingdom candle, and I love that book. So, yeah, this is the one we're lighting. We'll see how I like it. Probably more than the candle I lit this morning. Got it in one try this time. Okay, well, the stream just ended and my battery's about to die on the camera, so try to wrap this up quickly. I got about 6,000 words across the whole stream tonight, which is roughly 13,000 words for the day, and I don't know, maybe a third of that was brand new material, and then the rest was just editing scenes that already existed. Also, update on the candle, it's decent. I like it. It's better than I expected after my initial sniffing. I am, with the story, I am in the middle of the big fight that we were gearing up for this morning. And I've done almost a whole chapter's worth of the fight. I don't remember how many chapters it is in the original draft, but I'm just about to start chapter 7 now. I mean, not right this minute because I'm done writing for the day, but when I come back to it, I'm on chapter 7. So I think we got quite a bit done. I started in chapter 3 this morning, but we have 21 chapters to get through, so we still have a ways to go. For anyone who made it to the end of this and is still unclear, I'm working on the sequel. So, Return to Sherwood, the first book in the series, is available for purchase, and there's a link in the description.